Comparison of Beloved and Their Eyes Were Watching God by Roman, Jared, Angela, and Salvador. Common characteristics found in African literature. Common characteristics of African American literature are the recounting of history from the African American point of view, as well as the story of a newfound freedom. There is also some kind of distinct pattern to the characteristics of the main character of the story, along with their actions and the overall purpose of their goals. The story may also adopt some sort of urban tales or myths. We'll also mention some historical points from either periods of slavery or civil rights movements. School of criticism used. Feminist criticism. In both these stories, a common school of criticism incorporated here is the feminist criticism, first established in the late 1800s, then reached its climax in the 1960s to the late 1990s. Addresses the inequalities between genders, is known as the first wave, and on contemporary race and gender theories is known as the third wave. In feminist criticism, many of the ideals and politics associated with feminism are taken into account in order to analyze the story. Summary of Beloved. The story of Beloved is a story of an emancipated slave trying to find her place in life and does everything in her power to try and protect her children from the harsh realities of social injustice that many freed slaves at the time faced. Takes on a first wave of feminist criticism, develops a theme around the idea of being enslaved in both a physical and mental state. The tone and dialogue of the story are also able to represent that this story was written in the perspective of African Americans at the time. Summary of Their Eyes Were Watching God. The story of Their Eyes Were Watching God is the tale of a young African American woman's journey through life as she begins to reconnect with both her culture and her identity through many relationships and trials throughout her life. The theme of the story is that one is never far from her culture. It takes on more of a third wave of feminist criticism and develops the tone of a more poor African dialect and speech and uses stories from both real life and historical figures. Common theme found in Beloved and Their Eyes Were Watching God. As the reader, we are able to see the common theme that both characters, as women, develop an identity based on their relationships that were either broken or kept throughout their lives. For the case of Beloved, we see that Seeth eventually loses her sense of self and identity to her children in an attempt to keep them safe and sheltered. However, for the case of Their Eyes Are Watching God, we see that Janie is able to progress as a character and become an independent woman throughout the relationships and loves that she has lost and made throughout the years. Both stories also take into account the importance of freedom, slavery, and finding romance in life.